I would like to say that as humanitarian coordinator in Pakistan, we have come to Swat and to the Malakand division in general to continue to support the work of humanitarian relief, humanitarian rehabilitation and support to the communities who have been affected by the crisis. As you know, the humanitarian community in Pakistan has helped millions of people, many from Swat district itself, during the crisis last year. But we are continuing to support this community as they return to Swat, but also those who are in Swat and have never left Swat, in terms of providing relief for livelihoods, to restore public services, to make sure that the children can go back to school and the health centers can be restored. We have had very important and useful discussions with the divisional commissioner of the Malakand division, who has briefed us on the situation, particularly in the Swat district and the Malakand division in general, the actions that have been taken already by the government in terms of the restoring and rehabilitating services and infrastructure, and also what remains to be done in terms of the remaining gaps for the humanitarian action to support the affected population, the most vulnerable populations here in the Swat district and Malakand division. The humanitarian community, of course, remains concerned about the security situation, but we have been assured by the authorities that every effort is going to be made to provide security for the humanitarian workers, and that will allow us to expand the operations to the upper parts of the Swat district. It is a challenge that we have to ensure that all the vulnerable groups in the area are provided with support. This is a commitment that is shared by the government and the humanitarian community both. The challenge, of course, is to ensure that we have the access. There's issues of security, there are issues of the roads and the bridges which have been destroyed by the militants. There are issues of assuring the administrative services availability in these areas. This point has been extensively discussed with the administration and in particular with the division commissioner, who has also raised the concern that the upper reaches and the far-flung areas of Swat district should also be covered by the humanitarian community. The humanitarian community is committed now. We are going to mobilize next week a team to go to the upper part of Swat to identify specifically what are the requirements in the specific tehsils and the specific union councils. And we have a commitment also from the non-governmental organizations, the implementing partners, to move into these areas. On the issue of the involvement of the local communities, the humanitarian agencies have committed with the provincial government and now today also with division commissioner, that as far as possible, whenever we have the human resources who have the right skills and talents available, they will be involved in the activities of the humanitarian action. This can already be seen. Many of the NGOs, many of the UN agencies have already started to recruit and to use the local institutions and the local human resources. Let us say that there are parts of every district where there was not so much of the military operations, and the people in those areas did not move. However, we also recognize that even if they did not move or did not leave the district to become IDPs, they did not become registered as IDPs. But those areas were affected because they were cut off from food supply, from energy and electricity and so on. What we have committed to say is that where there are vulnerable populations, we will assess the vulnerability and we will make sure that those areas and those specific populations who are vulnerable, not in general, but those who are vulnerable, will be assisted in that part of the district as well. The school assessment has been done. There has been extensive assessment of the damaged schools. You may know that out of nearly 1,600 schools in the Swat district alone, more than 500 were damaged or either partially or fully damaged. This is a very big number of schools to reconstruct. And reconstruction has to be done through tendering, so that there is opportunity for the local contractors and constructors to be part of the process, but it also has to be done in a way that is transparent and effective and efficient. That has started. The partially damaged schools have largely been repaired already, but what remains to be done now are the fully damaged schools, because this involves larger contracts and must be managed in an efficient and transparent way. And I know that the government, through the damage needs assessment and through the multi-donor trust fund, is committed to undertaking that reconstruction.